Well, hey everyone, just reporting to you from day 3 of the Citizens Hearing on Disclosure over at the National Press Club. Just want to point out to you before I summarize what we saw today, witnesses, you can live stream this yourself if you go to the citizenhearing.com site. Just for a few bucks you can access the entire hearing, full 5 days, and I think you can access the archives too once it's over. Well worth it. We've been listening to some absolutely fascinating testimony. I've been involved in this area for maybe 15 years now, researching it ever since I discovered there was so much fascinating and interesting events and material that I had never learned about before. You know, it's like an alternative history of the United States of the world that they didn't teach you in school. All these events, the history of World War II, where these UFOs started appearing, the national secrecy, the whole thing. It's quite fascinating. You, as a citizen of the world, you should know about it. Today we heard two groups of witnesses, basically. We heard a group in the morning, including Peter Davenport, National UFO Reporting Center. We heard again from Stanton Friedman and Linda Moulton Howe, and police officer from Great Britain, Gary Heseltine. The morning's theme was just the breadth and width of UFO reports. The congressional panel wanted to hear when this started. We heard reports from Peter Davenport going back to 1936. Very interesting to hear those old historical cases. And, you know, because this is before we had modern recording technology, and yet still people wrote down the interesting and strange objects that they encountered, just going back almost 100 years now. Probably before that, too. Gary Heseltine told us about all the cases he has from police officers, hundreds of cases, hundreds and hundreds of sightings, multiple cases, in some cases 15 or more police officers seeing craft for all periods of hours. It's quite fascinating stuff. Then in the afternoon we heard from a Roswell panel, including, again, Stanton Friedman. He's just everywhere you want to be in the UFO world, and a number of other Roswell authors, Kenneth Randall and Don Schmidt, as well as Jesse Marcel Jr. and Jesse Marcel Jr.'s son, third, and his daughter. These are both children and grandchildren of Jesse Marcel, who handled the Roswell wreckage, was the senior intelligence officer at the Roswell base at the time, the 509th Army group at Roswell. And as you know, this is where the first nuclear weapons were developed and deployed from. So this was a very elite group, and Jesse Marcel brought the wreckage over in the middle of the night for his wife and son to see before it went over into the hands of the military. And Jesse Marcel Jr. was here today to tell us he actually handled the wreckage. His father had assembled it on the kitchen floor. And there was this memory-type medal that we heard about from Colonel French, who was also in the second Roswell panel today. There were 2 of each, panels, a total of 4. This memory medal, you could bend it, you could twist it, you could try to break it. It would always come back to its magical shape again. Very thin, very light, but very strong, you know? Sounds like a cool material. I'd like to handle some of this myself sometime. So anyway, just a completely fascinating day. I mean, you may have heard about Roswell before, but we heard about a lot of detail about the witnesses. The congressional panel wanted to hear if there was evidence of people seeing the extraterrestrial bodies back in 1947, not reporting it later on, but did they actually report it then? We don't have any reports from 47. Of course, people at the time were told to shut up and not talk about it, so that's not surprising. But again, another fascinating day. I've never seen anything quite like this in my life, where we had a lot of credible witnesses and people who are really, whose job it is to listen to this information to make decisions about what congressional action to take. They could report this on to their colleagues in Congress. There could be further investigations. I'm confident this is the beginning of something very important, an important political process in our country here in the U.S. It's a great start, and it's really fascinating to be part of it, and I'm glad you're able to get these updates and listen to it too. So thanks a lot, and we'll be talking to you tomorrow. Take care, and bye.